still celebrating women in this month of March, and we'll be showing it in our Wordsmith for this week. Well, we visited some exciting places, which we will share with you on this week's episode. From the Center for Black African Arts and Civilization, which is ensuring a well-coordinated archival as they prepare to celebrate 45, to the LVI Art Gallery and Cultural Nexus, which is a melting pot for arts and tradition. We have that and more in a moment. A warm welcome. I'm Melinda Akinlami.
Our wordsmith for this week is titled Woman by Ruby O. Jones. The artist is Franklin Ndibam. A woman that has worked with the sun. A woman crowned by the sun. The stars are witness to her endless effort. So when you see the moon dance with her, know that she first danced with it. Wanyoji, the blackness of heritage passed on to her by her seasoned lineage. Wanyoji, a woman of mysterious aura, she commands the air with her stare and carries the world in her care. Wanyoji, a woman with 1,000 words, even the earth will listen to the stories she will tell.
The Seaback Museum has been the buzzword in the art community for a while now, so you can imagine my excitement when we were finally invited to have an exclusive tour of this facility, interacting with rare images from artifacts to books, documents for research, and old visuals that show the depth of African art and civilization dating back to the 70s.
The Center for Black and African Art and Civilization is more than its new coat of paint or restored Queen Idia statue, which greets visitors on arrival. This center is coming alive one day at a time, and its Director General, Honorable Oluwabunmi Amor, is leading this restoration drive.
Seaback has got a lot that I never thought of. Because people were saying, oh, it's professor this, professor that has been managing it. So I was ready for the work by the time I came in on the 1st. So I went round and I realized that they put 90% of the artifacts in about 3 rooms and they locked them up. And then the main artifact, which is the Queen Idia, was put under the step. I said to myself, I have a lot of work to do here.
We get an exclusive tour of these changes. Artifacts that were once in storage now have room to breathe.
Segments where we mount our painting from different parts of the world depicting African narratives. Starting from here, we have Egonu, painted in 1973 to 1976. This was part of the artifacts that were brought during Festa 77. It depicts sunsets and it's oiled on canvas by Egonu. This painting is talking about Africa having their own way of life, their religion. As you can see here, We already have our philosophy, our religion, and it's been eroded while the whites came in with their civilization.
All these works are significant not just to Nigeria but African history. They show the continent's rich cultures and unique ways of doing things.
Section is one of the most exquisite collection that we have, because this is depicting the Africa and the origin of man.
Every room has a story to tell about the depth of culture that has held on for decades.
These are just prototype of what has been in the past, before the advent of the buildings that we have now. And they are skillfully built using the material they can find in our environment. One of the most beautiful one of these indigenous architectural design is the Tig House from Ethiopia. Skillfully built with beautiful stone, raffia, and bamboo. And we can see that it's a story building. What we are trying to say here is that story building has been existing in Africa even before the white people came and introduced their own kind of building.
It's not limited to works of art. There are collector's items that hold this knowledge published by the center.
The very first port of call, if you want to understand Africa entirely, is coming to CBAC, to see, information, direct information, updated information on African culture and African people generally, irrespective of the location. And the extension too of Africa in the diaspora, irrespective of whether it is a voluntary or involuntary diaspora. So these are things that evidences some of the activities of CBAC.
To more books stored in a library for adults and children, all talking about Africa.
This is the reader's place where our users of the library comes to the library to read, to do their research, to do whatever they want to do about their work, daily work, for their either PhD program, either master's, any form of research work. They do come here free of charge to make their research.
In the video division, we have the visuals and the audio materials of Festac 77. The audiovisuals start from the core tips, which happens to be the original contents of Festac 77. And since then, we'll be following the trends of technology to ensure that our viewers and our visitors are impressed and kept with the content of Festac 77. So we've moved from the core tips. The core tips are the heavy types of the fourth generation of video as at that time. Then we've been able to move into Humatic, which happens to be industrial tips at that time. And we are now on digital formats. And we all know that digital formats now engage the MPEG and MP4. So that is what the center is now trying as much as possible to ensure that our viewers and our friends, our visitors, learners, and travelers that came to visit us has the content and be able to know what really happens in Festac 77.
The vast archival library houses relics from Festac 77, the fiesta more memorable in its 45th year.
What we have here is enormous. We are sitting on a gold mine, and we've started working on it. Like, we are going to celebrate Festac at 45 October, November, but we are not going to call it Festac at 45 like that. We are going to call it Celebrating Black and African Arts and Civilization, which in effect is our name. You know, the name of this place is Center for Black and African Art and Civilization. So that means what we want to celebrate is the black, is the African arts, and is the civilization. How did we get to this place? I'm talking of civilization, from what civilization used to be and to what extent have we gone to? What is the future of this place?
Plans are in the works to digitize most of these documents, works of art, visuals and other items, so more people who can't visit can enjoy the experience virtually.
Well, we'll have to save the rest of the story for another episode because there's much more to share from our exclusive museum tour of CBAC. We also visited the LVI Art Gallery and Cultural Nexus, which is contributing to keeping art and culture alive. More on that when Art House returns in a moment. Stay with us.
And these are the works of art you sent in this week.
The works of art you sent in this week are celebrating women. Let's begin with this one by Onoha Columbus. It's an oil on canvas work called The Masterpiece. Then this charcoal drawing is done by Emmanuel Kolawole. He calls it Oluwa Bukumi. Another Emmanuel, but this time his surname ends with Maxwell, is showing us his ballpoint pen on paperwork called Belief of Expectation. Then Hakeem has this mixed media painting of the women. Inovera Pius shows us her tears of joy, done with oil on primed chipboard. Then Namte Tampio has this one done with mixed media called What's on Your Mind? They Left Me Broken. That's how Mark Dude captures this work of art done with mixed media. While The Black Lady is Kemi's mixed media piece. Innocent Chikeze has this acrylic on canvas work, which is showing us an interesting conversation. Then we wrap up with this oil on canvas piece done by Ajala Damilola called Gaze Upon Me. And that concludes the works of art you sent in this week. We appreciate you for always sending them in and encourage you to put the relevant information beside that work of art.
My goal is to liberate women folk from the shackles of deprivation and taboos.
A lot of galleries have been hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, forcing a few of them to close shop. But those that have survived are trying to think out of the box, like the LVI Art Gallery and Cultural Nexus in Lagos.
Innovative ways of running the gallery business has become the new norm in LVI Art Gallery and Cultural Nexus in Lagos, which focuses on not just showing beautiful works of art, but giving the audience a quick history lesson about Nigeria's rich heritage.
It's a journey, and we are in the process. We are not there yet. Because what we are anticipating and what we are expecting is huge. And the most important thing is that we have survived the pandemic. We've had a lot of inactivities because people were not able to converge. People were not able to meet because of the restrictions. It really caused a lot of setback in planning. But things are gradually loosening up. Then we use the online space a lot. Thank God for the online space. The media too helped us, the mainstream media, capturing our events on the televisions and co. We did one where we did some classes online, dance classes to promote art classes too. It's a journey, and we are on, and we are catching. Definitely, we are trying to accelerate this year because things seem to have normalized.
So, more rooms have been opened within the gallery space to cater to other things. For instance, there are now in-house artists, 2 of them constantly taking time to create new pieces or adjust old ones if necessary. Artists will answer you, what is trending? Let me paint it. I say, no, don't paint what is trending. Create your own image and your own impression, your own style. So let somebody see and walk and say, oh, this is this person's work, this is this person's work. Let your work be your identity. Let it be your footprint. Let it be your fingerprint. So you don't paint, so you have to create an identity for yourself. When you have an identity for yourself, you create a niche. That's the only way you can grow. If you keep on painting whatever is trending, you can get money. Just to survive, you continuously be on a survival mode. So create yourself, find yourself, define yourself, and you will always find who will like your style. The framing of the works of art is now done here.
We look at the issue of forward integration and backward integration. The way the gallery runs is there's a synergy within the different businesses. So the gallery has the main business, which is the gallery artworks, which we display. Then the gallery needs support services. One of the chief support services in any gallery is frames. So we try to make our frames in-house for quality control and customer satisfaction. If my customer says, I like this work, it's black frame, but I want it on gold. In 10-20 minutes, we've changed it for you to gold. We have all the stock of frames here. So that is one of our flexibility too.
To this photo studio, which is part of the other things that has been created because there was a need to be met.
Last year we started our photo studio around March last year. So the gallery, we are strong on Instagram. So whenever visitors come in, whenever we do events, we take a lot of pictures and we upload on Instagram too. Then we started having our clients and our guests saying, can you send me my pictures? Can you send me my pictures? Some people would not come and say, I want to even use your gallery to take pictures. Oh, we got the camera, so I have an in-house photographer taking pictures just for the gallery. I decided to commercialize it. Let me create a space for this because I already have some demand on that, and then let's see how we can optimize that too.
Since the gallery is also open to satisfy cultural needs, there are many activities lined up to make it interactive and informative.
We are on the cultural aspect too. We are in December we acted. There was a play, Osamede, showing the Bini culture. So every art gallery and cultural nexus, we displayed the museum center where the play was acted. Everywhere was full of the Bini theme, the pictures, the ebem, the Bini cultural act too. So we're going to promote and showcase different cultures in our own little way. We're going to start from home. That means we're going to take a look at Lagos and push on the Yoruba culture. So we're going to tie the culture to some historical sites.
LVI Art Gallery and Cultural Nexus opened its doors about 3 years ago. Over time, many things have changed, no thanks to the pandemic. The economy, amongst other factors, and change for the better, has its own appeal.
If you thought that was amazing, then take a look at what we have lined up for you next time.
On the next episode of the program, works of art from the next art fair, which has been taking place in Lagos. Then at the Okomoko Art Gallery, we enjoyed the Genesis Art Exhibition. We encourage you to keep liking, sharing and viewing our page so more people can enjoy the ever-bubbly and ingenious art scene in the country.
Your art house experience doesn't have to end when the show is not on television. Interact with us on our various social media platforms. See any edition of Art House on our website or YouTube page. Join our very interactive Facebook page by joining the group on Art House on Channels. We're everywhere.
That's the program today. It's always a pleasure having you with us, and let's do this again next time. Remember, our social media platforms are available for you to interact with, and ensure you view, like and share our YouTube page so more people can enjoy the beauty of the art. I'm Melinda Akinlami. See you next time.